Welcome to the job site. We're glad to have you on board. You're about to hear all about our safety on the job, but first let me tell you a little bit about our job.
So what we're going to be working on here is the new Reading Courthouse, and once complete, this building is going to stand 6 stories tall and be about 169,000 square feet. The big highlights of what we're going to be adding inside this building is going to be the 14 separate courtrooms as well as a lot of detention and holding cells within the building. So what we're looking at now is a site map of the job site. Now there's one big thing that I want to bring up to you guys first. The job site itself is located on the corner of Court Street and Butte Street. However, the job site office is about 2 blocks up Court Street, located on the corner of Shasta and Court Street. That's going to be an actual building itself, not your typical job site office. A couple other things to mention here is that all the gates for the job site is going to be on the north side of the building, but all the staging area for the contractor is going to be on the south side. I also want to mention there's not going to be any parking on site, so you guys will have to find parking off site.
In the event of a severe or life-threatening injury, make sure to call 911 first and then notify a site employee, and then your own supervisor as well. If you are unsure if you need to call 911 or not for an injury, play it safe and go ahead and give 911 a call. If any of the following scenarios do happen, please notify your supervisor and then make sure to notify the site employee as well. If any accident or injury occurs that requires on-site treatment, there is a first aid kit located on the job trailer for small injuries if that occurs. If any near miss of an accident that could have resulted in an injury, you need to make sure you let us know. Or any damage to equipment or property, and even if it is your own company's property, it needs to be reported. Also, any injury that requires medical attention or transportation to a hospital or minor emergency clinic needs to be reported. In the event of an evacuation of your work area, there's a few things I need you to make sure that you do. Stop working immediately, drop any tools you are holding, and then leave them behind. Walk quickly but safely to the designated meeting area. Form into a group with your others from your company and remain quiet and listen for any further instructions. It's really important that you remember too that you do not leave the designated meeting area until instructed to do so. Sutton takes count of how many workers there are on site every day, and if you leave, you may force someone to go back into a dangerous area to try to find you.
So again, we're looking at the same map that we looked at a couple slides ago, but this time I want you guys specifically to look at that area of refuge. It's going to be on the north side of the actual job site itself, across the street. So in the event of that emergency, make sure you get over there safely but as quickly as possible. This is a drug and alcohol free workplace. If you're consuming alcohol or under the influence of drugs, you will be removed from the job site immediately. Additionally, if there's any accident that occurs that results in third party treatment or any property damage in excess of $500, there'll be a mandatory drug test afterwards. Also, please note there's no smoking or chewing tobacco allowed on this job site. Just remember to be courteous at all times while you're on or off our job site. Don't stare or make any rude gestures, don't swear at anybody, don't wear any offensive clothing, and be professional at all times. Remember, you're part of the team now, so you're not only making yourself look bad, but you're also making us look bad.
Each contractor is supposed to supply their own washout bins if it's required. Also, if there's any hazardous waste or universal waste, it's up to the contractor that generated the waste responsibility to dispose of it correctly. Universal waste is things like batteries and non-empty paint cans and such. You are also required to clean up your work area on a daily basis. We have a stormwater pollution prevention plan here in effect on our job, and some requirements are: don't disturb any of our best management practices, such as the wattles. If you do accidentally disturb any of them and you can't fix them yourself, it's alright, just notify one of us site employees and we'll get it fixed. You also can't wash your vehicles here on site. The only exception to this rule is you can wash off tires, just so you don't track anything off site. And for equipment that actually stays here on site, when it's not in use, it is required to be parked on plastic or in an area to contain anything that may leak off the equipment. Also, everyone on site is supposed to receive stormwater pollution prevention plan training from your employer on a quarterly basis. We do like to recognize crews that have been particularly safe on site, and occasionally we may even throw in barbecues, recognize that they are doing the extra to be safe on our site. One of the things we do too, though, is there's always an all-hands safety meeting at 7 a.m. every Monday, and this is where we'll announce if we're doing something like that. Also, don't forget, don't just walk by a safety hazard either. If you see something, say something about it so that someone can get it fixed as soon as possible, and that way we don't have a hazardous situation for someone else. Well, next you're going to watch a couple of videos about